Welcome to the Word on a Block. This is episode two. For anybody that don't know, this is where we discuss just random topics that are in the news and kind of give a financial perspective on them or on it. And I'm gonna start with, I guess, like a community note. Maybe not community, that's probably the wrong word. Well, I'll just say, like, I went to an event at the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce tonight. It was called Ignite the Light. And it was just a super dope event, man. Um, it was like well organized, ran smooth. Like wasn't there wasn't any like long-winded like speakers, anything. It was just like all in all well put together. And it was at a Pan-African bookstore in Oak Cliff. And I guess South Oak Cliff, you have to say, because like I'm still learning these parts of Dallas. But and the bookstore was really dope. Like she had a there was like so much African art there. Like and like big too. Like it was like pieces that were like my size. Like I'm 6'3". Like it was pieces in there, pieces of art like bigger than me. And they were like all authentic. Like it was just like crazy dope. I saw a shield. And I don't know like how old it was, like what, era it was from. But I was thinking like, dang, man, think about like going into battle and this shield is all you got. Like them dudes was built different back then, man. Now we got like all our Kevlar and they got the I don't even know what you call it, the shield with the lights, like when they're going through a door or something. Just all this stuff, but like them dudes is just like, yo, give me a spear, give me a shield, and let's rock. Um, and when I saw that, it made me think of I saw a post on Spill where someone posted, um, it was like a map. Let me pull it up actually. It was a map of Africa, like before and after the Berlin Conference. 1880, it says 1880, 10% of Africa was under European control. And it's like, a tip of North Africa, a speck of West Africa, a tip of South Africa. And then you look at 1914 and it had 90% of Africa was under European control. And honestly, what that made me think of that was like the like in that time period, the main like development and weapons of war or in war was the machine gun. Like that's literally it's literally like a before and after picture of the machine gun. And what colonizers did with that technology. And so yeah, that's just what like it just kind of brought all that together. Um yeah, so yeah, that was just a really dope event. I encourage anybody, you know, go get in your community, man. Like go be a part of your community. There's some good stuff out there, dope people, good energy. And at times and periods like this, we gotta be, we gotta be purposeful in making sure that we connect outside of ourselves, get outside of our comfort zones, go connect with people, go connect with our community. And tonight was a was I was glad I was glad I didn't just fall into the comfort of my couch and you know pick up things on my to-do list that I got to do to get my business up and running and all that. And I think there's definitely value in you know using those social muscles because I know like being in Florida during COVID, like I can recognize like the before and after of how I am at like networking events. And maybe part of it is that like I'm not drinking like I don't drink at them anymore or I don't drink like I used to. And that might be part like I used to pregame, like man, I used to drink so much, it's crazy. But yeah, I would pregame before networking events. If it's a bar, definitely getting two or three drinks. Um, but yeah, now just being there just like just off of, water and fuck it and just be in there, chopping it up with people. So it's definitely good to like, exercise those social skills and those muscles. What I want to talk about today was I guess like it's gonna be like a sports focus. Um, there was so I'll start with one thing I saw was Angel Reese. Like there was on her podcast, so she was talking to Lisa Leslie, and she was like, "How can I get better?" I guess like they had a conversation about how she can get better, and Lisa Leslie was like, "Oh, we're gonna work on those layups," basically like her offensive game. And when I remember the first time I saw Reese play at LSU, and I was just like, I was honest, like I don't get the hype. Like, she's big and tall, and like she like fights for rebounds. Like she fights for rebounds. She's a scrappy player. Like that's what I saw. That was my first impression when I saw her. Um, but like, I didn't see like I thought it was gonna be like more of like I guess like a Juju Watkins, like or maybe like more of a Candace Parker. I thought she was like in that mold. Um, from the amount of hype that was around her. But I was like, I don't see that. But like I saw like a stat line of like her last three games, she's putting up like 20 points, 22 points, 24 points, something like that. And when she was talking with Lisa Leslie, she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna work on that offense basically." And I know like it's been like internet joke about her getting her own rebounds a lot. Um, but like I feel like it's always like I respect and like I like seeing when people put in the work to get better to go from A to B. Like I like a work ethic like um of any type of athlete. Like that's why I respect LeBron. Like I've never been a huge LeBron fan, and but I can't deny his work that he's put in to be more than just a layup and three guy. Like when he came into the league, it was just, oh, can't nobody really stop me from getting to the rim. So bam, that's what I'm doing all the time. Now, over the years, he's developed an entire game. The fadeaway, the mid range. He's gotten better at 3 point. He's worked on all of that, and I respect him for it because he's super talented. He could have just been like, hey, well, this is me, this is my game, take it or leave it. I feel like that's what some athletes do, like that were 77 when they were with the Dallas Mavericks. Man, you know what? Let me talk about the Luka trade. I'm on the fence about it because as a athlete, I think like the number one thing is being in shape. Like that's across the board at every level, be in shape. Like, and then like as a professional athlete, you got access to everything. Like all the best the best facilities, the best nutritionists, you got access to everything. All you gotta do is be in shape. And then like you think about like you're 25 years old. Like when I was 25, I could look at a track and lose weight. Like getting in shape at 25 in your mid 20s is so easy. And for him, like the thing with Luca is, and I'm a Luca fan. I got a Luca jersey hanging in my closet still. But it's like every year he came back in worse shape. Like he came back fatter. Like it was noticeable. And like this past season, after the Celtics won the championship, Jalen Brown goes and say, I want to put on some more muscle so I can be a better finisher at the rim. I'm like, dang, what is it like to have a superstar that has fitness goals? Like, shit. I ain't never heard Luca say nothing like that. All Luca want to do is, I think now he's like a diamond tank on Overwatch 2. Like that's Luca's goals for the offseason. And just that lack of understanding, you know, yeah, it's one thing to compete to be competitive in the game, but them championships is won in the off season. Like that's something that every coach talks about at every level. It's like, the work you put in off season, that's gonna determine how your season is gonna go. Like, and there's gonna be a point when talent just isn't enough. And I guess like preaching that to him 7 years in a row since he been in the league, since they drafted him, I can understand getting tired of it. I can also understand the opposing view of, well, he's 25, give him a chance to grow out of that. Um, but then it's like you really are at a risk of because you could be in a situation where you got another Joel Embiid where, and I don't want to be too hard on Joel Embiid because I don't know, I'm not in Philly. I don't know how I haven't heard about how he takes care of his body or if he is or isn't. But where you just have a superstar that's on a max contract that's only playing half the time. And with Luca, this is like that third injury on that same calf. And a lot of it is just you're not in shape. Like he didn't do that. The move he did to injure it was hella basic. Like it wasn't a it wasn't a complex move. It wasn't like putting anything at a weird angle. It was super basic. Um, you should be able he should be able to handle that. But if you're not taking care of your body, you know, your body gonna break down. And so I get that part of it. And then honestly, like if you're a basketball player and you're playing basketball as much as they are, the only thing stopping you from losing weight is if you are drinking alcohol as much as you are playing basketball. Like, and I'm not saying he's alcoholic, but it's like, bro, that's like at any age, that's the only thing that's gonna stop you from losing weight. Like, especially at 25, that's the only thing that's gonna stop you from losing weight. Especially when you're active, like you're running all the time. But like, bro, you can run all you want, but if there's alcohol in your system, you're not gonna lose fat. Like your body's literally just not gonna burn fat. And so I don't know if he's just throwing back beers all the time while he's playing Overwatch. That might be what he does in his free time. Hookah, Overwatch, and beer. But it's like, bro, if you just cut out one of those, you will turn yourself into the best player in the game. Um, so I'm on the fence about the trade still because yeah, like there's room to say, give him a chance to grow. But then there's also a risk of, well, if we're strapped with a superstar who doesn't do the basics right, that'll never give us a championship. So it's a hard call to make because you're trying to look into the future, when variables can change a lot. And so yeah, I don't know. I understand like the win now because it's like, well, with the healthy Anthony Davis and all the pieces we got, you could probably say, yeah, we could win in the next 2 to 3 years. Like with Gafford, Lively, Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, like with all the pieces we got, yeah, like I feel like there's a legitimate three-year window. Um, but then you could say, hey, what if Luka figures it out, next year, and then like he starts taking care of his body, and he gets another 10-year run after this. Um, and then like honestly, my biggest issue with the trade was out of having Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic on this roster, we got one draft pick. That's the biggest thing that irritates me. It's just that we got one draft pick. And I just feel like when you got all-star, all-star and up level quality players, you ought to be getting something out of that talent. It's kind of like when we had Steve Nash and just let him. It's like, bro, what are we doing as a franchise? Like, this is generational mismanagement of talent. And I'm 38. Steve Nash got traded. Shit. I might have been in high school or maybe college. Like, '05. It wasn't '06 because he wasn't with us. So it must have been, it was before the first championship run. So I guess it was like '03, '04, something like that. But it's like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, can we get some competent talent management in this franchise and stable like let's not do it. Oh, okay, we did it good now, but and then like now we start being on bullshit. Like, let's have consistent talent management over the years. Um, that's what we need. All right, so let me get back to some of the stuff I was meant to talk about. I just had to get off my chest. If if your team had a generational talent and you traded it for and only got one draft pick, granted you got a great talent in return, but still, it's on the mind. It's heavy on the mind, I guess is the way of putting it. So, I brought up Angel Reese because I was thinking about the new basketball league, Unrivaled, and I did looked up a little bit of information on it, and those women in that they're getting paid like I think the average salary is like $200,000 for 3 months. I'm like, damn, that's a great summer job. Um, because I know most women professional basketball players they make their money overseas, like the WNBA, like the salary they get for that pales in comparison to what they make in their overseas games. And I've always, I've always, I guess like wanted to see more things like that, and mainly from like a football standpoint, because play football, love football, that's my main sport. But I feel like football players are the most exploited of any sport, and the just the amount of control over football athletes. um, yeah, I would love to see something like that in football. And honestly, because the owners, I think it's like a classic case of the owners don't really produce anything. You know what I'm saying? Like how a lot of like people who are anti-capitalists, they talk about like how billionaires don't really um contribute anything. But I think in football, like it's exponentially to the side of the player because it's like, bro, you could put Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in a high school stadium and put cameras in it and I guarantee you people watch it. You know, like these massive stadiums that cost cities hundreds of millions of dollars, and we'll get to the latest case soon. Um, it's not needed. Like they're like the owners, they're doing all this extra stuff to gain control over communities, to extract resources and value and dollars from communities, and it's all because of what the players do on the field. And so like I would love to see a player owned league come up in NFL. Will it ever happen? No, I'm sure it's not. It's a pipe dream. But I would just love to see a more equitable arrangement for football players. Um, but um, you know, here we are. But I think what they're doing at Unrivaled is great. Um, I like the players getting paid more. I like the one-on-one tournament. I think it's like great time, and I think like everything is like kind of just really well arranged. Like, um, it's an ownership group. It's not like there's not like a single owner of the league or any other teams. Like there's former WNBA players in it. There's former like NBA players. Like it's just I like it just all around. And I'm not the biggest basketball fan. Honest to God, if it's not the Mavericks or Golden State, I'm not watching. Um, and I honestly I watch Golden State just because I feel like that's like the millennial generation. Like, I don't know, it's like the millennial team. I kind of feel um like in and I like it's weird to say, but like I like Draymond. You know, he's not like super talented. He's not super athletic. Um, but he's a high basketball IQ player and he plays with intensity. And there have been times when, like, especially even in the playoffs, when Golden State was making the championship runs, there were times when Draymond guarded like three positions in one possession, forced the missed shot, grabbed the rebound, started the fast break, and then Golden State went on a run because of like his insist, and then like, he would do that back to back to back possessions, like defensively, and he was just like that defensive energy would just turn up like all the momentum around for Golden State. Then like Clay and Steph hit some threes, and like it gets going, but like it would start from Draymond's just relentless effort on defense. And so like I respect that, man. Like I love that type of shit. Just pure willpower. Just making it happen. And and so yeah, like to get me to watch a basketball game is kind of hard, um but I like what they're doing. That segues into it's I'm shooting this on February 27th. March Madness is around the corner. This is the NCAA's biggest money making event. And it brings up, I think this will be like the first March Madness since like, I guess like whatever Supreme Court ruling, but that allowed gambling and online gambling. So I try to always find the message of the harms of online gambling. And it's so easy now. Like, you make a bracket. I haven't made a bracket in years, but I'm sure that if you make a bracket on that same site, it's going to be links and ads for like gambling apps. And you know, gambling is going to be the crack of the 2020s. And it'd probably be worse because, if you're addicted to crack or cocaine or anything, it'll be visible over time. We'll see, so your people in your life will see it. But if you're addicted to gambling, who's gonna know? Maybe your spouse, because like, hey, if the money starts getting funny, but for most people, who's gonna know what you're doing, on your apps? How much money you're losing on these parlays, how much, money you're losing on these season apps or whatever, like different types of gambling arrangements they had. Um, and then like there's so many studies about the negative impact that gambling has like over communities, over societies. Um, and yeah, that it's gonna be one of those situations where I don't know, like who who's gonna stop and protect people from the corporations? That's not really an American thing that we do anymore. You know, corporations kind of do whatever they want to do. Sure. Oh, I hope I don't have to redo this. I hope the sound was picking up and I wasn't holding this microphone in a bad way. Um, so yeah, y'all are gonna be bombarded with a lot of like gambling ads and you know MGM this, what's the other one? DraftKings this. All like just don't do it. Just don't start. It's so much easier just to not do it at all. Just enjoy the game and go about your business. But I know a lot of people ain't gonna hear that. If you are gonna gamble, for the people that are, make a budget for it. Like let it be, make it come from like your literal leisure money. Don't skimp out on a bill. Don't skimp out on groceries. You know, trying to trying to make some 8 leg parlay or some shit. Like be smart about where the money's coming from that you're using to gamble. Um, something like so yeah, that's just my words of the wise. And then I talked about owners like course and communities to give them hundreds of millions of dollars. The latest one is the Houston Texans owner won a new stadium, and it's like Houston just got like like the Texans just like I think they're just like hitting their stride as a franchise. Like yeah, they've had good players in the past. They had Andre Johnson, but it's like they weren't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't going to the postseason. They didn't have a quarterback, a coach. They didn't have like all the pieces you need to be title contenders. And I feel like now that they do, they trying to pull this, oh, we want a new stadium shit. And it's like, bro, at some point in time, this shit has to be illegal. Like the 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 stadium they have is still like it's not even at its end of use yet. But everybody just wants a new stadium. Um, and honest to God, that's why it got so hard for me to have a favorite like NFL team because I knew or I understood like how much manipulation, how much coercion these franchises do in their local communities. And it's like, bro, like if the money that was spent on sports stadiums, it's just some of that was spent on schools. It was just some of that was spent on the roads. Like these are things that impact everybody's day-to-day life that would have such a bigger net positive on people in the communities. But some type of way, we can't never seem to have that happen. Some type of way, we let billionaires force the working class people in communities to give them more money so they can make even more money that they don't share with the community that they're in. Um, and and so I really feel like we got to come together, as a class and just stop letting these billionaires orchestrate these things. Stop letting them orchestrate ways to extract value from our lives when we have the opportunities to make, our communities better, our lives better. Um, like we really got to get to a level of solidarity where we're not we're not willing to sacrifice our future for, entertainment. Like that's where we are right now in the world. As long as it's funny, we'll it's okay. Like what we had to pay is okay. Like as long as it's convenient, you know, we're okay with what it costs outside of dollars. Like we gotta stop that. We really gotta be more conscious. Um, and then speaking of, I saw a video of an AI robot on two wheels, like jumping around. I'm like, dang, that looks like the things off of Terminator Genesis. It was like, yo, we really will be in a Terminator reality, like closer than any other type of fictional reality. And like we're getting closer and closer. I saw another video of a robot attacking a woman. And it's like, bro, who programmed the robot to attack? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that even a possibility that it has? And then then you think about who programmed it to select a target? Who programmed it to to approach a target? Like who programmed aggression into these robots? And like those aren't questions we're thinking about. And honestly, since I've like been since AI has been on my radar since like 2011. I remember I read my first study. It was like back then, 2011, 2012, something like that. And it said in every single case when AI is left alone to its own devices, it gets more aggressive and it starts seeing other like programs, like because these were like test scenarios, and they start seeing other programs as adversaries and they try to aggressively eliminate them. It's like I don't know. That was 14 years ago. And everything I've seen about AI and the development of AI has just confirmed that it's been the same story over and over. So, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I guess when we have normalized like willingness to destroy our ecosystem, our entire like planet's ecosystem, you know, building robots that will subjugate us, like I guess that's in the ballpark. Like that's fair game too. Like, why not? We melt all the ice caps. Why not build robots that will destroy us? Like, why not? It's all part of the game. As long as we made profit doing it, it's all good. Man, that's all I got for this week. Um, I'll have a some breakdown of crypto. I know there's crypto's like feeling the free fall. So I'm gonna do a video on crypto. I'll do some video on, the broader economy. Um, yeah, so stay tuned. Give me a like, follow, subscribe, whatever you do on YouTube, all that stuff. Peace.